What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame show. The Blazers get their most frustrating loss of the entire season tonight. No holds barred on this postgame show. This was rough. The Suns win it on a score of 118 to 117. The refs call foul for Devin Booker with 0.9 seconds left after just botching the entire season. Damian Lillard was clutch. Insanely clutch in this game. The Blazers still find a way to lose it. This was definitely not Dame's fault. So to the weirdo that said Dame time forgot his watch, yeah, there was a 5-minute timeout just for being silly. So I don't know, man. I don't even know where to start with this. I'm seeing red right now, and this is the first post-game show all season long where I'm starting this off seeing red. Had a couple last year. This is just one of those where I am pissed off, and I am pissed off for a number of different reasons. I am pissed off because of the refs. I am pissed off because we run drop scheme all game long and Chris Paul gets going against it. Cameron Payne gets going against it. We keep running drop scheme and don't adjust on that. Dame and CJ hit contested shot after contested shot all game long. I don't know how they play a better combined game than what they did tonight, and we still find a way to lose to the Phoenix Suns without DeAndre Ayton. Just extremely frustrating. This team should have won the game and not had it in position for the refs, in my opinion, Eric. But they made all the same mistakes that have me worried going into the postseason yet again. And we will touch on all those. But my goodness, if Dame gets that foul that Norman Powell committed on Devin Booker, Dame isn't getting that call. 1,000% is not getting that call. There was numerous plays throughout this game where Dame, I thought, got fouled, got hacked, and didn't get calls. Meanwhile, on the other end, just terrible call after terrible call for the Phoenix Suns throughout this game, in my opinion. I'm seeing too much red. I can't remember many specifically, but my goodness, I think the refs were absolutely terrible in this game. And you guys know I'm not the one to sit here and blame refs. I thought the refereeing was just absolutely ridiculous, and it's so frustrating that a ticky-tack foul is what decides this game when Dame would not have gotten the same call for him. Eric, what are you feeling about this one?
Well, sorry to those who heard me cuss before we went on air.
That's my fault. That's
my mic, but
yeah, that's not Eric's fault. That's my fault.
Anyways, chat's moving so fast. We should probably get to this dono real quick before I go off. Mills Woj, $15 dono. Thanks, Mills Woj. You're always good with the donos. He says, free throws, I've been the only one in this stream saying it's Dame, Rocco, Nurk, all missed important ones. The defensive substitution is inexcusable, but you can control your free throws. They missed free throws.
How do we not get the ball in Dame's hands in that final possession?
Yeah, or at least CJ.
It's just
Melo's a great free throw shooter. You shouldn't have him inbounding the ball, knowing they're going to foul right away.
Mm-hmm.
So if Rocco shouldn't be in the game, or you should have him be the inbounder in that situation, in my opinion.
It's just another example of an end of game sideline out of bounds play that is just not good. It's just not good. We always run that stack. And I think that stack is a terrible thing to run because they can just face guard, and they can just face guard Dame and face guard CJ. Whichever way they split, they can just face guard and run with them, and you can't inbound them the ball. I absolutely hate that inbounds play. I hate that inbounds play, and we don't get the ball into Dame. We have a timeout. We don't use it. We get the ball into Rocco. I know he's a solid free throw shooter, but he doesn't shoot many, and you're putting him in the clutch in one of the biggest games of the year. Dame, you get Dame the ball, he knocks down both free throws, we very likely win this game, or it's going to overtime at worst. But we can't get Dame the ball because we run a damn stack on the sideline inbounds play.
Yeah. And to whoever that was, Blue Rice or whatever, yeah, Dame's watch wasn't broken. That's dumb. He freaking carried us. He played the whole second half as well. So yeah, that's like dumb. He's leading the league. They showed the graphic on TNT. He's the best player in the league in the clutch again this season. And to say anything different other than he absolutely carried us in the second half of this game with basically very little help from our coaches or many other players in this one. So to say Dame time didn't show up or in the clutch or whatever, that's just a ridiculous comment.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just don't come in here to troll when we're already mad. I don't know if you're a Suns fan or what.
I don't even think he's a troll because he's been in here. He's in a lot of streams,
Yeah.
so like, yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. That's just ridiculously bad, and that just comes across like trolling. So honestly, yeah, I feel the same way with Eric. Apologies for giving Eric a hot mic. My bad. This was definitely not the game to give either of us a hot mic. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened, but honestly, I agree with what you said, because that's just silly. That's just dumb. That's just ridiculous. Let's thank the other donos. Alvaro Bazan, $5 dono, says, Norman Dame getting beat up all night, but Booker gets a foul with less than a second. At least be consistent. That's what I hated. Is they called things a lot tighter on us throughout that game. What do you think of that, just the way the game was reffed, Eric? Are you as mad as I am about the way the game was reffed? Because I thought it was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know some of those plays. I mean, we've seen this most of the season now, especially when Dame was struggling. He just can't buy a call at times, and it's really frustrating because there's way more contacts seemingly on his drives than especially that play at the end. So yeah, it's super frustrating. We had a couple plays. Nurk had a block on Saric where he basically initiated the contact with his body. We had Mikal Bridges do the same thing, stick his skinny little butt out and initiate contact, even though there was no contact near the arms or it didn't affect his shot at all. And they get that call all day, but Dame gets absolutely clobbered going down the lane, and he can't get a call at times. So it's really frustrating. But I mean, still we're in a position to win this game, and even though the refs missed that call, in my opinion, and then reviewed it and still missed it. It's one of those frustrating things because we didn't have a timeout, so I mean, we lost our timeout because of the challenge. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because Nurkic had 3 plays there in the fourth quarter where I thought he protected the rim perfectly and did not foul, and they got free throws all 3 times. And Dame, when he drives,
missed like 3 out of 4 of them. But
still though, it's like, but Dame, when he drives, isn't getting that same call. Is not getting that same call. There's a play where I forget who it was, but somebody like elbowed Dame in the face, and then Rocco comes over and gets what I think was a clean block, and they call a foul on Rocco. Should have been an offensive foul. You know, I mean, just plays like that add up, and it's extremely frustrating. But on the other hand, we shot ourselves in the foot all game long. Shot ourselves in the foot all game long, and we're going to get to that. Yep. The next dono, near 012, $5 dono, says, I will say Dame just going ISO when they tried to trap is great, but that's the only great thing about this game. I mean, Dame hit insane shot after insane shot and was just blown by everybody. It's a perfect example of Dame kind of carrying the team, even though they're shooting themselves in the foot with their style of play. Now, I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. Another $5 dono from Near 012 says, I've never wanted to punch people in the balls so much as I do now. The refs and hacker Chris Paul. Yeah, I don't promote violence, but you know, I can't blame you. I cannot blame you. Shout out Reese. Reese is dropping a $2 dono. I think that's the first one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused. Reese says, people really blaming this whole game on Rocco. Shaking my head. He missed 2 free throws. Yes, if he makes those free throws, it's a good chance we win. But it's like if he doesn't make the 3 that he hit 2 clutch threes down the stretch. If he misses one of those, you know, then we still lose. Even if he makes the 2 free throws, you know, we would be down. So we wouldn't have even gotten 2 free throws. So you can't take one thing in isolation and just chalk the whole game up to that. So anybody doing that with Rocco is just, I don't agree with it.
And again, why is he in a position catching the ball to knowing they're going to foul immediately? Like, that should have been like absolute last thing we should have resorted to. I think calling a timeout in that situation is better than passing to Rocco. Now, you're not expecting him to miss both, but like, he's just like, some players don't, like, you don't feel confident with on the free throw line. I think we lost the game earlier in the season because he missed both free throws in a similar situation. I forget what game that was, but yeah, it's just I don't understand why he's even an option on that play to get the ball. Like you have to either get the ball to Dame or CJ or Melo. I'd feel comfortable with because he's, he's not gonna be nervous in that moment shooting the free throws. So you get one of those three the ball. Norm even has like championship experience, so maybe even him as like the fourth option. But if you can't get one of those first three options, I feel like you should just call another timeout in that situation and run a different play and hope you get Dame or CJ the ball in that situation. And I mean, I know CJ is not the greatest in those moments either, but I still would feel a lot more comfortable in him with him shooting them.
Yep. Now, at least I make one at two, because then it would be a tie game. A shout out play-by-play $10 donut says, thanks, Terry. Let's give Rocco the ball instead of Dame, CJ, Norm, or Melo. And why is Stotts challenging a call that he didn't even see on the monitor that wasted our final timeout with 2 seconds left? I'm not complaining about him challenging that call. I thought there was a number of calls he should have challenged before that would have been more likely to get overturned.
Might have changed the game, yeah.
And he held on to it, and I didn't agree with that. On a number of calls there, especially in the fourth quarter. I thought there was like 3 or 4 calls that he should have challenged and didn't.
I know he pretty much had to challenge that one since he had his challenge. It just sucks that we only had one timeout and had to use it for that situation. And the other thing, too, is... like we wasted a timeout with the Devin Booker double dribble to advance the ball like 5 feet up the court,
and set up an inbounds play that didn't work, Eric.
Yeah, and we could have used the whole. I mean, I know you can still throw it in the backcourt, but it's a lot easier to do that from the backcourt versus the front court. So. We could have had the entire court to work with in that situation. So
that's just
I felt like that was a really bad timeout, and then to not even get the ball to one of your good free throw shooters out of it is just inexcusable.
It's just another example of poor late game management by Terry Stotts. Because there's been, I mean, you look at the Celtics game where we didn't have a timeout on the final possession. I forget why, but I think we called a timeout just to tell Dame to ISO and shoot a quick shot, which he could have done without a timeout. And then we didn't have a timeout with 3 seconds left. Marcus Smart purposely misses the free throw, and we can't get a shot off. You know what I mean? Like, that was another game. But this one, calling that timeout and then setting up an inbounds play where you can't get Dames or CJ the ball and you have Melo passing it in. It should have been Rocco passing it in and Melo as an option for a free throw shooter. I would have felt more confident with Melo at the free throw line. And then, Eric, the final defensive possession, they have Dame, CJ, and Melo on the court.
Oh, okay, not only did they put Melo out, but Melo was not initially in the game, and Stotts actually went to his bench and was like, you know what, never mind. I don't want Nurk in the game. I want to put Melo in instead. And we have Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Derrick Jones. Say what you will about their defensive effort and not playing or whatever, but like you have those guys for that exact situation. You need a stop. You're up 1. It doesn't matter. You have a timeout left. You're gonna call your timeout if they score and there's enough time left. If they miss, there's probably not enough time for them to foul and have it matter anyway, because we'd be shooting 2 free throws. So like there is no excuse in that situation to not only put Melo in the game, but to put and keep in mind, Melo, he benched him earlier in the quarter for not closing out on a shooter and being lazy and not putting his hand up, and Cameron Payne hitting a wide open 3 against him when all he had to do was stick his hand up. That's the guy you think of to put in the game in that situation. You just benched him a few minutes earlier for doing that. And you were like, oh, you know what? We need to stop. Let's put that guy back in the game. That's just ridiculous coaching. And we've mentioned this how many times this year, and he's actually gotten away with it because like someone like Rocco will get a deflection or something. And, they talk about how many times they've gotten stops in those situations and all this BS. But it is not the right decision if you're putting those kind of players on the court. And now there's been games where we didn't have a lot of options. We had injured players, and you pretty much have to. You probably have to leave one of Dame or CJ in the game in that situation. But there should be there's no excuse. 5 seconds left. You put in your defensive personnel to get a stop. You put out, because he subbed out Nurkic, right? Everyone's talking about how Nurk transformed our defense into this good defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you take him out in the last possession because they don't have a center in the game, right? Which is understandable. Okay, I get it. But then put your 5 best perimeter defenders on the floor and let them switch all picks. And like if Booker or CP3 gets going into the middle, they're gonna shoot it. There's not enough time really to pass it, so double team him or put some pressure on him or have someone waiting in the middle there like they did with Dame all night. So yeah, this is why we'll never be a good defensive team, is because we do not situationally, we're just not aware enough to do those sort of things. And yes, like I said, we get away with it sometimes because we're lucky, but in the course of a playoff series or against good teams, you can't put a lineup with CJ, Dame, and Melo in for a last-second defensive possession. It's just that's just beyond ridiculous in my opinion.
Yep. Last dono that we have on tap at the moment is Max Buckley, a $5 dono, says, can't wait for Fentress to ignore the game and ask Stotts a softball question like, how disappointing was this loss? I mean, that's the question you'll get, and you'll say it's disappointing, we're in a good position in this game, and yada, yada, yada. Like, yeah, I don't really want to make myself any more mad by watching his post-game news conference. In case you can't tell, I got mad at my TV, my poor TV. But my voice is not normal right now. I lost my mind at that last foul call. Shout out Shaggy Squid, $2 Australian dono, says, Giles, but we keep playing Cantor. And I will get into playing Cantor. Deshaun Paul, $5 dono, says, they don't double Booker with 4 seconds left. No way he should have dribble across the lane without seeing another defender. Everybody knew it was going to Book. I wouldn't say everybody knew it was going to Book, but Chris Paul was the inbounder. So who else are they going to try and throw it to? That's the one guy you got to take away there, but they don't. I mean, they mismanaged the last 5 seconds as much as you possibly can. But they didn't double or trap or hedge anybody all game long. I am going to rant at some point in the stream in a little bit about how we just ran drop scheme all game long.
Even with Nurk, too.
Even with Nurk.
And even when we had... in the second half, obviously, we didn't play Cantor. I mean, he might have played a little bit in the third quarter, but for the most part, we adjusted to the smaller lineup, and we still weren't trapping or doing anything to take the ball to CP3 or Booker's hands. Yeah. And then Cameron Payne comes in and kills us, too.
I mean, we, just let Chris Paul do whatever he wants in the mid-range. What did I say? What have I said before? Every time we play the Suns, you cannot run drop scheme against the Suns, especially against Chris Paul. And Chris Paul just dominates us in the second half. We can't get a stop because he's either scoring, he's either getting a pretty clean mid-range pull-up, or, maybe getting to the rim because the big's trying to, at the last second, lunge towards the pull-up because you don't want to give it up because he's making them. So then he's able to beat the big to the rim. Or he's just dumping it off to a rim runner. It's a 1v2 situation for Nurkic. And I thought Nurkic had a couple possessions where he played it well and got screwed by the refs, but just throw a trap out there. Don't run drop scheme against Chris freaking Paul. I don't know how obvious it has to be for Stotts to do it. Stotts to not do it. It's so blatantly bad that I think some people don't realize just how blatantly bad it is to run drop scheme on Chris Paul all game when he has it going. You gotta switch up your looks against that guy. He's one of the smartest players in the He's one of the smartest players in the game. I'm trying not to cuss. He's one of the smartest players in the game. And you're just giving him the same look, and the look is, oh, here's a ton of space. Let's see what you can do with it. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And that's why it's like, yeah, their defense has improved, but they haven't really played a team that has the players that to exploit drop scheme in this past 10-game stretch. That's part of the reason I didn't buy into it when everybody else is. And what happens? They go up against the Suns, and they just get crushed on drop scheme, possession after possession after possession, and they do not adjust. They don't adjust at all. At all. And that's just part of it. I'll get your thoughts on just kind of the drop scheme.
Just shout out to the Valley Pod. They're all wasted right now because they're playing a drinking game every time you said the word drop scheme, and now they're hammered. Yet? They're hammered drunk. So
rest in peace.
Anyways, they have our feed on their show.
Shout out to those guys.
What's up, guys? Yeah, it's just, I mean, watching the second half of this game and seeing how many times Chris Paul came off a pick, and us not having any sort of hedge or trap on that, and him just dribbling down to his 15-foot area where he's gonna take a step back and shoot those little high arcing jump shots. Like, it's just so frustrating watching that over and over again, knowing that we're not going to do anything to try and stop it, and we're basically, what did we talk about earlier? We were playing the hope they don't miss defense or whatever. That's all we were doing. It was like, okay, Chris Paul's going to get to a spot. Let's see if he missed this time instead of like the last 8 times he's made it. And that's just,
Dude, they shot bad today, and they still had 118 points. They shot 40% from 3, but they should have probably shot better than that. Because they got open 3 after open 3 after open 3. We gave them such good shots throughout this game. Like, they probably should have scored 130 points against us. And that's the thing. It's like, oh, in the last 10 games, our defense is rated 13th. Look at that improvement. I mean, can't be happy about 13th, but what was I saying? We haven't beaten or played a top 10 team that wasn't missing a star. What happens when we play a top 10 team that wasn't missing a star? Our defense is horrible, and we're lucky to only give up 118 points. Okay? That's why it's like, people will just sit there and say, oh, look at this good stretch. Why are you complaining? How can you complain? Look at how they're playing. Bro, we've gone on good stretches and bad stretches for years in the regular season. What happens come the playoffs? We play a top elite team, and we run drop scheme, and they pick it apart. And then we run Dame into the trap, and we don't have an answer. That was another thing this game. Like, this game showed every flaw we've complained about all season long. Those flaws still exist, despite them winning 9 out of 10 games. Like, they can win games against mediocre teams or good teams missing a star player to injury. They can win those games. They got talented players. Nobody ever said they couldn't win 9 out of 10 games. I mean, they won 13 in a row in 2018, and then they got swept by the Pelicans in the first round, right? And everyone was, oh, the Pelicans, they thought it was an easy matchup, and we won 13 in a row. What happens? We get swept because of our style of play. Like, the 9 out of 10 games doesn't mean anything to me. It means something for the standings. Thank goodness we're not stuck in a play-in right now. But, like, in terms of having hope for this team for the playoffs, it's just like, this was the litmus test, and I said that before this game. If we win this game, I'll have more hope. And here's the thing. Dame and CJ played insane. Absolutely insane. They played so good, and we still lost. And they didn't even have Ayton. I mean, come on.
And this is the frustrating part, because Dame basically single-handedly beat the Traps and just had a tremendous performance in the fourth quarter. And it wasn't like any sort of scheme we were doing differently. He just was splitting the double team and getting by him, and that was just a phenomenal effort on his part. He had to play the whole fourth quarter after playing the whole third quarter, so he didn't sit at all in the second half. Which, if we get this victory, we've talked about how then we have 9 days, right, with one game, and everything is looking okay, right? But now you have Dame play how many minutes tonight? Probably 44, 43.
I think it might have been 41. Did he rest in the second half?
No, he didn't. I just said that. Yeah, he did not come out.
43 minutes.
43 minutes. And now we might be faced with a must-win on Sunday, which we might have to play him 40 minutes, because if it's a close game, I don't know if we can afford to sit him, right? We lose that game, we're possibly in the play-in game, right? Mm-hmm. And then he'll have to play like 40 minutes in the play-in game, because it'll probably be a close game. And if we lose that, we'll have to play again, and then he'll have to play 40 minutes because our season's on the line whether we make the playoffs or not. And now we're in a situation where we might be screwed, because instead of Dame being completely the freshest he's ever been going into the playoffs, we ran him 43 minutes in the second night of a back-to-back. And and I was like praying for Stotts to take him out in the third quarter because he didn't have a good third quarter. He hit a shot towards the end of the quarter, but up until that point, I don't think he scored in the quarter. And it's like those times, it's like, why do you have to keep him in? Phoenix pushed their lead to 10. It's not like we're playing well or keeping close like while he's in there. So like that's when you just like steal a few minutes if you know he's gonna play most of the fourth quarter. Like take him out earlier in the third and then bring him back in and let him finish the fourth quarter that way. But now I'm worried about, if we have to play in the play-in game, he's going to be so gassed by the time we even start a first round series, when we're talking just earlier today that if we take care of business and win this game, we could possibly have him the freshest he's ever been in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But we should have won this game. I'm down to playing 43 minutes if we win this game. The problem is now we're likely looking at a 6th or a 7th seed. 6th seed, we play the Clippers. We are going to get swept by the Clippers if we play them because Stotts is going to run drop scheme the whole series. There's nothing to suggest otherwise. Sure, he made things more aggressive, but then against the one team you can't run drop scheme against, he runs it all game. Like, how does anybody trust this dude to run the right thing defensively at the right times? He's, like, clueless when it comes to that. He's absolutely clueless because you cannot tell me watching that second half, if you're watching it objectively, I don't know how you weren't frustrated by how much space we gave Chris Paul in the mid-range. I mean, we just dropped Nurkic again and again and again. The thing is, we saw Kanter hedge and trap last game, and it looked a lot better than when he dropped, but then we bring him in and drop him. Like, another thing that I had an issue with the defense, Eric, is just switching time and time again. Yeah. My goodness. It's so lazy.
It is lazy. And the times we fought through picks and stayed in front of like Paul and Booker, like we did fine. But then, the next possession we wouldn't fight through. We just auto switch, and it drives me crazy when that happens.
I mean, imagine we play against a team. Like, here's the thing. Everybody that loves Stotts, man, it's just like, guys, wouldn't you want a team defending Dame to just drop their big completely off the screen and he can just pull up for open threes all game, and then when they don't, they just switch, a Steven Adams onto him in isolation? Or a slow-footed big like that? Wouldn't that be great? Like, everybody that defends Stotts would love that if that's how teams guarded Dame. But that's how Stotts defends Devin Booker and Chris Paul, and it's like they don't have a problem with it. We've won 9 out of 10. It doesn't make any sense. It's like so illogical to the point that I can't even like explain how baffled I am time and time again by his decisions in terms of what to run defensively. It's just ridiculous, and that's why he's likely going to get fired. You have media guys that say, I have no idea why Stotts will get fired. Well, that's why. He has no idea what to run defensively at the right times. He doesn't know what personnel to play defensively, because if we're going to switch everything, and they have a stretch 5 off the bench, like a Frank Kaminsky or a Dario Saric, why is Kanter in the game to switch onto guards, to run drop scheme because Stotts thinks he's not mobile enough, and then he's guarding a shooter that doesn't play on the interior? Why is he in the game then? Go small. You got Derrick Jones Jr. Play Derrick Jones Jr. You can switch him. You can switch him on the guards. He'll be fine. You can trap with him. You can hedge with him. And it's not like Frank Kaminsky is going to bully him on the interior. Frank Kaminsky just sits out behind. Does he even go inside the three-point line? I mean, he did because he got 4 offensive rebounds in the first half against Kanter. So Kanter wasn't even rebounding well. Like, Kanter should not have played in the second half.
He's like dropping, and then he's stuck in between having to guard the penetrator, and then he's not in position to box him out because he's having to do that. Yeah, it
just doesn't make sense. Kanter shouldn't have played in the second half, but Stotts just plays him anyway.
I mean, I don't think he played much in the second half, but the thing is, like, when we look back on like what happened here when our season ends against the Clippers, like, we're gonna look to this game as being Stotts' downfall, I think, because if he coaches a better game, in my opinion, we win this, and we are in absolute prime, like the best position we could be in with this roster to go on a run in the playoffs. And instead, we're now in probably the worst position we could possibly be. And I feel like the coaching was just ridiculous in this game. And you talked about out of timeout. So we had that play where Dame dove for the ball and called the timeout,
Mm-hmm.
What do we run out of that? Oh, just give the ball to CJ and let him all 4 players just clear out and let CJ go 1-on-4, and take a bad shot. It like that's our play. Like, we don't have an offense or a set to run in those situations. At the end, when that's the perfect time. Like, when Dame missed that 3, I think there was 14 seconds left or something, I want to say. We're kind of running out the shot clock, and you knew he was going to take that 3, but why not just run a play right there? Why do we always just have to play the hero ball, save us? And I know it had worked up until that point, but that's why a play there would work so well, because they know Dame's just going to dribble out the shot clock and then shoot it. So why not do some sort of action, have a cutter to the basket in that situation? I don't know who would be in the game for this, but have someone you could throw a lob to for an easy dunk because the defense is so focused on CJ and Dame and the shooters out top, or something like that. It's just we don't have the creativity in those moments, in my opinion, to really just beat a team because we were smarter than them. Mm-hmm. It's always just because we make incredible shots or not, and I hate watching that style of play where it's just, it comes down to whether or not Dame and CJ just go scorched earth against a good defense, because we had no chance otherwise, and they almost pulled it off. Dame almost saved the day again, but he just wasn't able to finish this one out. It sucks that he didn't really get a chance to in the last couple possessions, but yeah, it's just frustrating loss, man. The season would be so much different right now if we just won this game.
Yeah, and shouldn't have lost it. Just frustrating. They shot themselves in the foot. I mean, offensively, Dame and CJ are the only reason we were in this game. This was a perfect example. If we win this game, it's a perfect example of us winning in spite of the style of play we have in the way we're coached. Because those guys, I mean, Dame shoots 16 for 23, Eric, against a double team all game long. We did nothing to get him clean looks all game long, and he's just popping off. Has 41 points on 23 shots, and that's with him, not getting probably as many calls as he should have gotten. But regardless, the difficulty of his shots in this game to shoot 16 for 23 is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. If he shoots 16 for 23 because we run a lot of good action and get him a lot of good shots, that's different. We're getting him good shots as a team. That's good coaching. If we're running sets, if we run an elevator doors play and get him a 3 like that. We ran that first play last game, got him a pretty decent look. Didn't see that again this game. Instead, it's just run Dame into the trap and hope he figures something out 1v2. Players are not positioned to be able to exploit it if Dame passes out, so Dame essentially has to dribble against 2 defenders and make something happen. A lot of times he didn't, guys were positioned so badly, there was nobody he could even throw the ball to, because the one guy they'd leave open was in a position where Dame couldn't get the ball out of the trap to that guy. So Dame just, against all that, goes 16 for 23. CJ goes 11 for 20, has 27 points, huge in the first half, 5 for 10 from 3. Those 2 guys just were absolutely insane and made so many difficult shots. I mean, the one where Dame, it looked like he might have gotten fouled, but he double clutches against Chris Paul and he's leaning 45 degrees to the left and makes a long 2. Perfect example. And that's the thing. It's if we win this game, people will probably say, oh, well, Stotts haters, which we don't hate Stotts. We hate the way he coaches. It's different. But they'll say, oh, Stotts haters are real quiet. You know what I mean? So, who's hating on Stotts now? We've won 10 out of 11. But we played such a bad brand of basketball that was almost made up because our backcourt played insane. And that's why it's frustrating that we lost this game too, because we should have won this game if we just played an okay style of ball, not even a good style of basketball, just a solid style of basketball, an average style of basketball, not just run Dame into the trap all the time and run drop scheme all game. And those have always been my two biggest complaints with this team. And it's not going to get fixed with Terry Stotts as our coach.
Mm-mm. And this has always been my thing, is like people will say, look what Stotts did with this horrible roster Olshey put together, right? In years past, like, look how much they always overachieve under Stotts. That is because of Damian Lillard. It is not because of Stotts. It is 100% because of Damian Lillard. And I know these people were having Stotts back lately, last couple days in the press and stuff like that. But when you ask a question like, is Stotts a good coach? Like, what the heck are they supposed to say? Like honestly, they can't say like, no, I hate Stotts, he sucks. Like it just, they can't do that in this situation right now. So, and two, winning cures a lot of the bad things, which obviously we lost tonight, so it's a lot more magnified than if we had won this game. But like, the coaching hasn't been great during this stretch. So all the people are like, you need to give Stotts credit for figuring this out or whatever.
Credit
it's like,
for what exactly?
Yeah, I know. It's dumb. It's like, but this guy Dame carries this team. He elevates the roster, and he's the reason why we have success, even if you think our personnel is terrible. But yeah, it's frustrating to me that we lost a game in this situation because of coaching. And honestly, I mean, it's not surprising because, I mean, if you listen to Tori and I, we've been preaching this all year. When the going gets tough, this team does not make the right decisions schematically and from a coaching standpoint to shift a game. So we can shift a game and win a game in a series because of Dame and CJ and because we have great ISO scorers, but we're not going to do it simply because our coaches came up with a great game plan and designed something in a situational position to get us a stop. And we see that tonight. Like, I mean, you put in 3 of your worst defenders for a final possession, stuff like that. I mean, that's like hurting your team's chances of winning, not helping it. And it's just frustrating to me that we have a coaching staff that is that bad at coaching that they are putting our players in a worse position to succeed than a better position. And to me, that is inexcusable. And I do not like coaches who just rely on their players, like, just go out and make a play because I don't know what to do, you know? I mean, that's basically how he coaches the team, and it's frustrating.
He has the clutchest player in the NBA, and this is like the 5th 1-point loss we've had in the past, 20 games, maybe? Like, we have a ton of 1-point losses because he's mismanaging the end of games. Yeah, Dame struggled a little bit. Dame was insane in this one. It was mismanaged at the end of games, but it was mismanaged all game. You know what I mean? Like, and that's frustrating. It's like every coach has flaws, but the flaws with the way we are coached are like so blatantly obvious and so unexplainable. And that's why it's so frustrating. That's why it's so frustrating. I don't know, man. It's like I don't know how some people don't see it, man, but some people seem like they don't want to see it, and that's fine, whatever. It's just, for me, man, it's so frustrating when Chris Paul's hit like 3 mid-range shots in a row and we continue to drop the big on him. There's no reason. He's crushing it. Make an adjustment. And that's the thing, is like, I don't care about... I'm not going to give Stotts props for the regular season. The playoffs is a totally different game. The playoffs are a game of adjustments, scheming, game planning. That stuff is magnified, and he shows in the regular season that he just struggles with that. Just absolutely struggles. Yep. So, like, how am I supposed to have confidence? Why are we giving him props for 10 games out of the regular season? I said all year that they can win regular season games, but what happens when they play in the playoffs against an elite team? And their style of play really matters. And how they adjust really matters. And how they game plan really matters. It's going to matter more than it does in the regular season. And here's the thing. Every time we go up against an elite team, Eric, we lose. Every time. Every single time. When was the last time we beat a top 10 team that didn't have a star injured? Can somebody in chat tell me? Philadelphia?
February 11th, we went through this earlier.
Other than Philadelphia, what other top 10 team have we beaten that hasn't been missing a star?
And if you guys don't want to, like, if you're sick of us saying it or you don't think we're being accurate, Winthrop Petros, I don't know how to say his name, but he mentioned something that I was going to bring up. He said Grant Hill said that CP3 prefers going right. You think? Like, everyone knows that. Like, we just let him go right every time off the pick, and we don't force him back the other way. We just let him go to a spot and be like, oh, lob it over the big guy, and there's a easy bucket for him. He'll make like 80% of those shots if you let him get to a spot every time. And that's the frustrating part. And then what else did we hear from Grant Hill during this game? If you're watching the TNT broadcast, it's the Blazers cannot continue to keep dropping the guy. So for the Valley podcast drop scheme, you cannot continue to drop on Paul. He'll kill you. He'll kill you. Grant Hill was saying it in the second half of this game. He's like, until the Blazers stop doing that, they're going to just continue to score. And we went through a stretch at the beginning of the fourth quarter where we could not get a stop. And we were trading baskets, and luckily we kept somewhat close. But like, we could not stop them, and it was just absolutely pathetic that like, if it's working, maybe I see like sticking to it, but it hadn't worked. Like, it wasn't working. They were destroying it, and we still kept doing it over and over again. And that to me is just insanity. Like that. Like, how do you watch a game if you're a coach of a team and be like, oh, I need to look at the film to see what happened? Like, no, everyone knows what happened. We watched it. We watched Chris Paul for like 20 years in the NBA do the same freaking crap. Like, everyone knows that's what he likes to do. And so when he's going off on you in a game and doing that with ease, that's not something where you just continue to do the same thing. It drives me crazy. This is why our defense sucks the last 2 years. We don't do anything differently schematically to change it or to give a defense or an offense a different look. And that's so frustrating, because if you made the case that our defense was okay or good enough to get by with not doing that, fine. But it's not. We're 29th, even with this stretch run of being really good at defense. If you want to look at the numbers, the last 10 games or whatever, even with that, we're still 29th, and we're not even close to 28th still. And like, we're not moving up at all in the defensive rating standings. So like, it just drives me crazy that we continue to run the same crappy defense over and over, knowing like two schmucks from the Northwest with a stupid YouTube show knew that was going to be our downfall if we did that in this game. But our freaking own coaches of the team that have unlimited amounts of research and resources and film that they can break down and all this kind of stuff can't freaking see that and don't do anything to change it. It's inexcusable. These guys, they should have been fired earlier this season and just completely cleaned house. I mean, they should have been fired before this season, but like, honestly, this is going to cost us a chance with a really good roster, in my opinion. And it's just so frustrating to me that, and I know, like, yeah, overreact much. I'm overreacting to the fact that no matter what our roster is, what our personnel is, our downfall is always because we do not have a good enough game plan from our coaches to even get to the point to where we could see how good this roster could be. And that's infuriating to me when we have a guy like Damian Lillard, that we don't get a chance to see what this team's potential will be. And I have no confidence going into the postseason that it'll be different. And I would have been happy if we won this game. We would have been put in a better position to make a deep run, but it wouldn't have changed the fact that we still had the dumbest game plan I've ever seen today, knowing we just played right into the strengths of the Phoenix Suns.
It's just frustrating because, like, we saw that you can't drop against these guys in the first two games. You know what I mean? And I said it before the first time we played him that you can't do it. And I said before the second time we played him that you can't do it. And then before this game, I'm saying, well, look at the first 2 games. That's perfect proof that you cannot do it. It is so obvious. And then they do it. And Chris Paul he's on fire. Now, if we make Chris Paul work for difficult shots and he's hitting sidestepping threes, if he's in the types of shots that Dame and CJ hit today, different story. All right, I'm saying, man, we're playing good defense. He's hitting all these tough shots. We just let him get to his mid-range, to his right hand, a shot he absolutely loves, over and over and over again. And then he was able to kind of, after he hits a couple, the big has to play up a little bit more. But we're not playing the big up in terms of hedging him, in terms of trapping him, in terms of keeping Chris Paul from attacking the rim. No. We still let him get to the mid-range area. And then Nurkic steps up a little higher, but he's still supposed to drop because that's the scheme we have to run, apparently. And then he just shovels it off to the big and it's a layup. You know what I mean? Like, it's essentially Nurkic dropping back. The guy guarding Chris Paul has to go over the screen, so he gets screened out of the play. And then it's Chris Paul and a big running at Nurkic in a 2v1. How in the world is that a good idea? How in the world is that a good idea? I can't believe people defend it. Dame says he loves playing against drop scheme. And it's just so funny because we come out in a game like this and just play drop scheme all game. You know what I mean? But Dame loves playing against it. But people defend Stotts and defend it. And it just makes absolutely no sense. It's like, oh, well, Canner, you have to run drop scheme with Canner. Well, last game we see him hedge and trap perfectly like 5 times in a row. Whenever I've seen Canner hedge and trap, it's a lot better than when Canner drops. Which makes sense. All Canner has to do is run above the point of the screen. He runs up with the screener and runs a couple steps past him and hedges and then runs back to his guy. Compared to, you got Canner with 2 players running at him in a 2v1 and he's on his heels. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And Nurkic is more mobile. And we drop him too, So I don't know how anybody can excuse that. It just doesn't make sense. Right now, I feel like we're most likely to play the Clippers. What do people think is going to happen against the Clippers? We're going to drop against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard just like we dropped against Steph Curry in the first game of the Western Conference Finals in 2019. And guess what? They're going to have a field day. And then guess what? They're going to trap, and we still don't have an answer. And we haven't figured out an answer for 3-4 years. It's going to be the same script as the Pelican series. It's going to be this. That's how I feel like this season's going. And now we could have success against the Nuggets. They can't really exploit our weaknesses like the Clippers. But right now, we lose this game. We're now in 6th. I don't think Dallas is going to lose. We're going to be 6th or 7th. And we can't play the style of basketball against either of these teams. So let's thank donations because we're a little bit behind. Yeah. Shout out Dro, $10 donut, says, I was at this game right by the team, and I will tell you guys this. Stotts fails to use Nurkic in every game. We should have had Rocco inbound the ball. Nurkic needs to be utilized against Dario MF Saric. And Nurkic was really struggling today. So I don't know if I agree with that. Like, he was just off today. He didn't play too well. Okay,
he was 3 for 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why, when Ayton's out, I mean, maybe even if Ayton's in, why would you not try to get Nurkic some post-ups early in this game and get him going? We've seen, when he has a couple of good post-up early in a game, like, he's locked in and engaged most of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Sarge can't stop him in the post. Sarge could do nothing against him if he was confident. We saw a play late in this game where he got the ball with like 2 seconds on the shot clock, had to do a quick spin move or a quick hook shot in the middle of the key, and scored easily on it. It's like, if your offense is all ISO, like, at least take advantage of a mismatch you have. So I feel like him only getting 7 shots is a reason why he's struggling then on the defensive end, maybe, because, like, we've seen how engaged he is. We didn't play through him much in the second half. Now, part of that was the fourth quarter. Dame was going crazy, but I think he finished with 2 assists today, maybe. And one of those was that pass that just got through, and the 2 guys missed it, and Dame was wide open, But like, we didn't really run a lot of offense through Nurkic in those situations, and then it's just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I don't care really what the analytics say in certain situations, and this is one of them. I feel like when you have a big man like Nurkic, and you have a team that does not have a big or a true center on their roster because of injuries or the roster configuration or whatever, like sometimes I feel like you should just force him the ball and see if he can dominate and win you a game because the other team can't stop him. And when you have a player like Nurkic, sometimes just giving him that opportunity is enough to trigger something in him to have a really good game. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people just look at it and it's like, oh, Nurk was a non-factor or whatever, but like honestly, he didn't really get the ball much on offense, in my opinion. So like he wasn't really part of the game plan at all. So it's hard to like blame him necessarily. And I know that people are going to say I'm being too soft on him, but like he was playing defense differently than he has the last 2 weeks. So I don't know what that is. I mean, I guess it's possible he just decided to on his own play drop scheme all game and not pressure the pick and rolls, but I have a feeling that wasn't his idea to do that and to play conservative on defense and to be that far behind the picks in those situations. So it just drives me crazy that once again we put a guy who should have been a dominant force in this game, because even if we post him up to pass out of it, he could pass all day over Saric. Saric isn't gonna like get deflections or knock passes away. So like use his size to pass then, or get offense going, or do something. So I just feel like we're doing a disservice to him by not at least letting him have a chance to dominate a Dario Saric in this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I thought he had more shots than that, to be honest with you, but we didn't really utilize his playmaking. He was a little sloppy with the ball, but I mean, like they were trapping Dame, and then Dame would get it out to Nurkic, and then they just rotate hard on Nurkic. I wish when we trapped Dame, we ran some off-ball action so that the help side defense would be a little bit more preoccupied, so that they wouldn't be able to rotate quite so hard to Nurkic. Because they would be worried about, there's an off-ball screen on the weak side that they have to make sure they guard correctly. You know what I mean? Just like something like that is extremely simple, but might make them a little bit slower to rotate to Nurkic, and then maybe Nurkic is getting a lay-in. But we don't do that. It's like Dame gets trapped, and everybody stands around on the perimeter, and then it's like, okay, give the ball to Nurk. They rotate hard on him. Hopefully he can make something happen with like two guys just flying at him. You know what I mean? It's not smart. It's not smart. I like Nurkic as a playmaker out of the trap, but you gotta give him the best chance to do it effectively, and we don't do that if everybody stands around. The defense is completely set and could just fly at him once the ball's out of Dame's hands. So that's frustrating.
And like, yes, he's good in that area at the free throw line when you get him the ball in those traps and let him pass out of it. But what about like putting someone else there? We saw Powell and Rocco have some nice passes in this game. Like put someone else there and have Nurk flash right to the basket and seal his guy under the basket. So you could run that like high-low play that they do from the baseline, but do that from the trap. And then Nurk, he would take his guy by surprise, seal him, and get an easy shot. Or whoever passed to him could just cut then right down the middle. And if no one goes with him, Nurk could just do a give and go right back to him for an easy lay-in. And it's just little action like that, I feel like, would be, I don't know. I just feel like we just, let's just throw it to Nurk and, do something. Okay, well, we're all just standing around. Okay, hand it back to whoever. That's all we do. And it's just so frustrating.
Yep, I agree. Let me think. The rest of the donos, Dro, $2 dono says, Harry Giles is a capable defender in this game. He would be... We haven't utilized Giles. We haven't gotten Giles comfortable here. He's a talented player, and he would have been a much better matchup. Mobile big, could have trapped, would have been better guarding, a Saric and a Kaminsky on the three-point line. Now, those guys didn't kill us. They missed a ton of open shots, but, like, those are good shooters, so we got lucky with that. And he can also pass. so he could help with our ball movement. We could use him the same way we use Nurkic in a lot of situations, but Nurkic is a playmaker. But instead, we haven't utilized him and have no confidence in him, and he has no confidence in himself, most likely because he hasn't been used. He hasn't been utilized. So at this point, I'm not saying necessarily to play him. It's just we should have been giving him at least spot minutes all year.
Yeah, it's pretty. The Giles thing is too late. I mean, it's a lost cause at this point. We haven't done a good job of integrating him up until this point. And if you're not established, I mean, maybe like Nas or Derek Jones could play a factor if we give them some minutes at some point. But a guy like Giles, who you've never really given a chance to all season, you can't just throw him in this late in the season and expect him to have a good performance against the Suns after not being really put in that situation all year. Even when he was healthy a few games before he got hurt while Nurk was out, we didn't even really give him much of a shot in those games, in my opinion, either. And it's just an impossible situation for a guy like Giles to come in and be our savior at this point as our backup center because he just doesn't have the experience or the playing time to be put in those situations. And Cantor does have experience both with our team and other teams. He was on the Celtics team that made the Western Conference Finals last year. Now, they didn't play him much in the playoffs, but he also was part of our team the year before. So this is a guy who has a lot of playoff experience, and those kind of guys are going to be leaned on versus someone who's never really proven much in the NBA, no matter how talented they are.
Yep. Shout Luke Lindikoff for a $3 dono says, there's just no way Dame wants Stotts next year. I don't agree with that. I think Dame wants Stotts next year. He's extremely loyal. He hasn't played under a different NBA head coach, so he doesn't know any different.
My feelings are, it's not necessarily that he wants him. I mean, he wants him, I think, to be the coach. It's just Dame, like we talked about this a lot. Dame will always blame himself first, no matter how good of a game he has. He'll always think as a star, and that's what elite players do. They always think, there's something they could have done in this game. There's a pass they could have made. There's a shot they could have made. There's a defensive stop they could have been in better position for. And so truly elite players will always blame themselves. And, he's stuck up for Stotts, obviously, in the past. I don't think it's a situation anymore where he would get in the way, though. I think that if they do decide to make a coaching change, he won't, he might not like it, but he's not also going to complain or go to the owner and say no, I want to keep Stotts this time. He will understand it, and I think he will be fine. It's not something to where if Stotts goes, he'll be unhappy for the rest of his tenure here in Portland anymore. I think he's going to be open to giving another coach a chance, seeing how Stotts, he got 9 years. It's not like you were saying, oh, he didn't give a chance to show us what he could do or whatever. So I think Dame would be fine. Even if he publicly backs Stotts, I think that's just his mindset. I don't think behind the scenes he's going to stop that process this summer.
Yep. Shout out Roger, $3 dono says, I just need a hug right now. The game hurt real bad. Me too, Roger. I feel you, man. That was the roughest loss of the year for sure. Shout play-by-play $5 dono says, we're basically a lock to play against the Clippers. We're 1-10 against top 4 teams in the West. I have a feeling this is going to be the Pelican series part 2. And, we could still fall to 7th. That's not out of the question. But the Clippers are, at this point, I don't see how they're not third. Our chances of playing the Nuggets have dropped dramatically because I feel like if we lose against the Nuggets, we're going to be the 7th seed. So if we beat the Nuggets, we're still that probably puts us in the 6th seed, but it guarantees they're going to be the 4th seed instead of the 3 seed. So that's kind of the situation there. Right now, I'm looking at playoffstats.com. We have a 68% chance of being a 6th seed, and the Clippers have a 75% chance of being the 3 seed. Our odds to play them in the first round right now are listed at 51%. I mean, the Clippers have 2 really easy games left. The Mavericks have 2 really easy games left. The Lakers have 2 really easy games left. I think it's a 50-50 chance that those teams win out. Like, I think there's a 50% chance that all 3 of those teams win out. So, at this point, we don't control our own destiny anymore. The Mavericks control their destiny for the 5 seed. Which sucks, because the Nuggets would be a much easier matchup for us than the Clippers.
Yep. And all because of a 1-point loss in the game we made some horrendous mistakes in.
Yep. I mean, you can look at a number of games. This is going to be one of those games where you look back and we just shot ourselves in the foot and should not have lost that game. Shout out to Shaggy Squid, $2 Australian dono, says, ideal situation for Suns is we drop to the 7th seed. Oh, 100%. They don't want to face the Lakers. And if I were them, I'd want to face us. I definitely want to face us. Shout out Ish Fluent for $2 dono, says, Derek Jones Jr. and Roddy Hollis Jefferson should both be in for the last shot. 100% agree. I mean, why? Yep. Like, you put Norman Powell and Devin Booker. You got big, lengthy wings to put on him.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Stars is thinking, oh, those guys are so cold they won't be able to keep up. But still, man, you got these defensive players for a reason, right? Everybody says last year was Stotts doesn't have the defenders to be a good defense. You know, he doesn't have any wing defenders. Well, we got these wing defenders now, and we don't use them in a situation where it's one stop and we win. So it's just ridiculous. I agree with that. Dro kind of goes along with that with the $3 dono. Appreciate it. Dro says, why didn't Derek Jones Jr. play? We paid the man. I would have played Derek Jones Jr. over Enes Kanter in the second half. 100%. Considering we were switching everything, considering Stotts didn't want to do anything but drop our centers. Maybe if we play Derek Jones Jr., Stotts is comfortable enough to not have him drop. But shoot, Stotts might drop Derek Jones Jr. too. You know what I mean? Like, if Derek Jones Jr. is like our small ball center, probably would have went out with Derek Jones Jr. It's not like Kaminsky or Sarge was going to punish him on the interior. But no, we go with Kanter instead, in a bad matchup for Kanter. Stotts doesn't know how to use his personnel in certain matchups. He uses the wrong personnel in bad matchups for that personnel all the time. And Kanter is the main guy with that.
Yeah, I mean, but Kanter did only play 16 minutes. You can argue that maybe he shouldn't have played that much even, but
he shouldn't have played in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, I think he only played a few minutes.
Yeah, but it's a one-possession game. It was obvious that if we're going to switch him, he's going to, like, it's not going to be successful, but then we keep switching him. We play him in the second half, we keep switching him, we keep dropping him. Play Derek Jones Jr. in trap. For those few minutes, that could change the game. We lose by 1, you know what I mean? Like, I think if we play Derek Jones Jr. for Kanter's minutes in the second half and have him pressure the pick and roll, they wouldn't expect that. Because we haven't done that against them all season long. So it probably works out.
Mm-hmm.
Probably works out. You know what I mean? In the end, we probably have a better run than we went on. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, and maybe not, but at least you try something different. At least you try something logical. Because what we were trying wasn't logical. So, the next dono was... Sorry, let me get back to this. Near 012, $5 dono, says, I think the problem is teams wait for the big to set the pick to trap. If we ran more plays than just pick and roll, Dame would have more room. I mean, 100%. It's... How many screens did we run 35 feet away from the rim, 35 feet away from the rim that they trapped off of today? A ton.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we're exploiting that, then cool, but it's like Dame has to beat him on his own. We still don't have any idea how to beat the trap. And people said, oh, it's because we have Al-Farouq Aminu and Maurice Harkless as our starting forwards. That's why we couldn't beat the trap against the Pelicans in the 2019 playoffs when we got swept. Well, now we got Norman Powell and Robert Covington, right? Now we have good shooting forwards, and it doesn't make a difference. It was never a Maurice Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu problem in the first place.
Yep, I agree.
Shout out Gordon. This is the last donation we have on top. Gordon, $2 Singapore dollar donation, says officials could actually cost this guy's house. Yeah, Blazers got to win against Denver to save that guy's house. Keep banning Isaac, please. Annoying. Oh, God.
So I like the jokes about the house. I like the meme, but there's no way that guy possibly bet enough money on a win total, because usually those are limited to like $500 bets and stuff like that. So, and the odds on that are, it's not like you bet the Blazers to win a championship or something where you're getting 30-1 odds or something on your money. They're usually like bet 100 to win 90 type dollars if you take the over. So I know that because I put some money on the Blazers over total as well. So my bet comes down to the last game of the season. It was only like $20, but like still. But anyways, yeah, those aren't bets that you would bet like $200,000 on or something. So I think that is a fake thing. He probably has some money on it, but it's still kind of funny having the last game of the season come down to whether he keeps his house or not, as a meme.
Don't throw around insults in chat. BJL999, especially to somebody that I'm cool with, who has somebody being a burner of him. Supposedly. Yeah, don't throw around insults. That's not smart. I already banned it, Isaac. Yeah, anyway. You want to bring on Gabe for a little bit?
I don't know if is Gabe trolling or is he...
What do you mean?
Was it a fake Valley Pod?
I think so. I banned it, and we can ask him because Gabe he wouldn't do that. Those guys are cool. So yeah, if you wanna call Mr. Gabe,
is he ready?
He said he'll be ready whenever. So,
I'll type in their stream. Hold on.
Yeah, not told him. The thing is, Gabe. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Gabe is from Valley Podcast. It's another YouTube channel that do what we do for the Suns. The thing is, he wanted the Suns to lose tonight, so we were on the same page. He doesn't want the Suns to be the 2 seed and face the Lakers. He wanted them to fall to the 3 seed and face the Blazers or the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. So he wanted them to lose today. Now they could still get the 1 seed, but it's not extremely likely. So he was actually rooting for the Blazers. At least that's what he said. So. Anyway.
I'm waiting. I'm trying to contact Gabe. Hold on.
I DM'd him. Just send him a call.
Okay.
Just send him a call. We'll see if we can get him in here. Hopefully he doesn't have problems like last time. Oh, accidentally. Where's your Skype? There we go. Disappeared. Shot.
I'm a nice beach setting now.
Oh, dude, I would love to be there right now instead of here. No offense, chat. Can it be like July and can I go there, please? I'll take questions in chat while Eric hooks them up. Skip me? What does that mean, Near Zero? Where's the robe? I'll wear a robe if we win a playoff series. Oh, Eric created a new call. Hold on. Let me...
God, I do not know how to use Skype. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with Skype, man.
Are you? Man, honestly...
All you have to do is accept the call and Tori.
It's not your fault. It's all me.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's how we can do the graphics and whatnot. It's the easiest way. I know it's a little boomerish, but...
Oh, you're good, man. You're good.
Scion G said this collab making me sad now.
Dude.
Do you got a face cam, Gabe?
Can you guys not see me?
Nah.
I don't think he can be on his.
Well, you know what then? In that case, everybody in our chat, please, I'm going to put the link in here to Blazers Uprise. Just come join us over there. I'm going to cut this one out.
Well, I mean, if you just take yours off your screen and just go with our screen
So bad, bro.
on
So
yours,
bad.
right?
It's a problem.
Right?
Next season, I'll figure out smoother ways to set up a collab in a stream.
All right, guys. I put the link in. Go ahead and switch over. We'll see you there.
Yep. So, alrighty. Gabe, so were you mad about the way this game went since you wanted the Suns to lose?
I definitely was. I was not happy, dude. I mean, it was weird. It was like being in an alternate reality. It was like I was thinking of like Doctor Strange and the Time Stone. You know, just like this is one of those weird situations where like I'm in an alternate universe and I'm now a Blazers fan and I actually want the Suns to miss every single shot. I was living and dying for you guys tonight.
Tori has no idea what you're referencing.
Oh,
yeah, I don't watch movies like that.
Everyone
see
else
me now?
got it except for
Is my
Tori.
is my camera on?
Nah.
Okay, I'm gonna let me rejoin. I bet you it'll do it. It probably didn't want to show me on two cameras at the same time.
That's likely it.
Yeah, let me rejoin.
Try and get you on here. I couldn't imagine rooting against the Blazers even for playoff positioning. When everybody was rooting against the Blazers against Sacramento because everybody wanted to face OKC in 2019, I wasn't. I've never been in that sort of situation.
Can you see me
All
now?
right, there we go. Oh, and it's side by side. Oh, no.
No, it's not working.
Nah, it's working. I just got to figure it out. I don't have like a setup for 3 people on Skype.
Oh yeah, I remember
Not-
that.
Move your
Exactly.
camera to like the same size as us, and then we'll all be.
Facts or...
There you go.
Yeah.
Gordon, it's not even close, man.
Let's see. I think I can do this. Let's see how fast I can set up.
Tori doesn't watch movies.
No.
Very rare references you could.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Me, I've seen every Marvel movie,
Absolutely.
every show,
You get the idea.
every Star Wars thing. Yeah.
I watch movies in the theater. I just don't like watching them at home. I get cooped up, man. It's not the way for me.
My friend Gary, he won't watch anything that's not realistic. As soon as something starts becoming unrealistic, he gets angry and turns it off.
That's us in our mock off season, Eric. That's us in our mock off season. But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to work my magic here. So Gabe, did you watch the game or were you only able to watch Scorecast?
I watched the whole game. I went to the gym first, but I got back in time. And at first, I was just watching it, I was listening and watching, but kind of on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Then second half, I really started to lock in and pay attention to some things.
Okay, so what'd you think? I want your breakdown on kind of the Blazers because you've been listening to us, right? And what we've been ranting
Yes.
about. I want to know if you see it. A fan of another team sees it, or I don't know. Do you see the things we had problems with in this game, or what? Hello?
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Did we lose him? Gabe and his Skype, man. He didn't like me putting him on the spot. Is he frozen? Oh, this has been tragic, man. Yeah, because that's something I've always wondered. Like, when I watch other teams, I do not key in on what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I don't even know exactly what to key in on. So I'm always curious. You take a fan of another team, kind of tell them what are at least the things that I have issues with the Blazers with. Do they see the same things and do they agree, or is it, I don't know, like is it not as obvious? Because that's something I always wonder. So I wanted his opinion on that. But yeah, he's just gone. Anyway, rest in peace to Gabe, man.
Dang.
Maybe his internet died.
Internet crash, yeah.
Why did I snap Gabe out of existence? I don't know, man. He doesn't know
snapped
Skype,
himself.
apparently. internet crash. He really had an internet crash right when he went on here. Thank goodness I don't have to worry about that anymore. I was just setting up this scene for 3 people now. Now I gotta set it back to 2 then. That's tragic. I'll just hit Control Z a bunch, I think. Yeah.
And just like move it back.
Next season I wanna bring more collabs on, but gotta make sure they're smooth. And I gotta set up a scene for it, which would have like all 3 of ours. So I haven't done that yet, but next year it'll be that's the goal. That is the goal. Give you guys some fresh voices. Cause I don't know. We'll take questions for a bit if you guys want. If Gabe's internet died, then I don't know if he's gonna be back. Gabe making us look bad, says AZ Suns cards. Use StreamYard. I can't do these graphics on StreamYard, I like using OBS. I like the system I got. I got like a routine, a system, all that. Gabe was as valuable as Derrick Jones Jr. tonight. Yeah, that's tragic, man. So, what else have we not touched on from this game? Or have we touched on everything?
I know we ended with 23 assists, but the ISO ball at times was driving me crazy.
See, it was driving me crazy, but they were scoring out of it. You know what I mean? That's like, here's the thing. Against a team like the Clippers, you're not going to be anywhere near as efficient as Dame and CJ. We're in isolation. Against the Clippers, they probably score 125 points instead of 118. We probably score 100 if we play the way we played tonight. Because you have bigger defenders against CJ and Dame. What are contested shots become blocked shots. You know what I mean? Like, they're not getting the same shots off in isolation against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So that's the thing. If the Blazers do indeed end up playing the Clippers, I don't think we're going to be able to be competitive in that series if we run a ton of iso ball.
Mm-hmm.
You guys agree with that, chat? Is that just us? Like, do you guys see that going that way? Is there a more optimistic spin? Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly can win you a game. It's a lot harder to do against an elite defensive personnel team like the Clippers. But yeah, overall, I mean, we don't have a chance in a 7-game series playing that way. So unless the players just go rogue and win.
Thing is, going rogue usually
design their
isolation.
own plays. Yeah, I know.
They're going to go rogue and play team basketball.
They're going to all get together in the hotel the night before game 1 and like come up with like 10 plays, and they're just going to roll it out, and Stotts is going to be like, what?
Yeah, that's probably what happened with the first play against Utah when we ran the elevator doors, man. They probably came up with that in the elevator. They're like, oh, look at these elevator doors. Found inspiration from them. And then Stotts got probably pissed off, you know. We got Dame an open catch and shoot look off a set. That's not what we do here. This is Portland Trailblazer basketball. Dame, shoot a step back, 30-footer next time. It'll make for a better highlight.
It drives me crazy. We had that play where Dame goes and sets a pick for Melo on the sideline, and Melo just curls to the paint, and Dame comes off it, and it worked both times for an easy one time for an easy lay-in, one time for he got fouled and got to the free throw line for Melo. And that was in the first game of the bubble against Memphis, and have not seen that simple play that worked both times again. Just stuff like that drives me crazy. It's like, why not get one of your ISO scorers like a good bucket before you just let them go ISO? Get them an easy shot to get them going.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've seen success utilizing Nurkic's playmaking. Oh, Gabe is back.
Can you see me?
Oh, good. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that, man. Internet.
You got that Arizona internet?
I mean, I'm in Austin, Texas, but yeah, basically.
Austin. All right. Let's see if I can set this up. So the question I asked you before you lagged out was, did you see the things like we've kind of talked about that we have issues with this team as the game went on?
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
It was like everything that you guys talked about, they decided to put it on tape tonight.
Dude, it was so extra with that tonight.
Like they listened to you guys and they're like, hey, just for fun, just to make them laugh, let's do all that.
Yeah, it was frustrating. So what were your thoughts on this game in general? The Blazers, the Suns. What were your thoughts on this one, man?
I can't figure out. Okay, no, I think I just did. I was gonna say I can't figure out what your problem is, but I think that probably means it's the coach. And y'all already know that. That's not saying anything new to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just from looking at your talent, it's insane, dude. Like it's crazy.
The thing
Like,
is,
how?
Mm-hmm. The thing is, like other Blazer fans would say you're crazy for thinking our talent is good, which is crazy to me. Yeah, I mean, you just the way Dame and CJ played tonight, and then you got Norm and you got Rocco, you got Nurkic struggled, but
I'm looking past your guards. I'm not even talking Dame and CJ. Like you guys have talent all through the bench.
Yeah,
you know. And I mean, I watched it. Like I told you, I was doing some Blazers research the other night. I watched a lot of highlights from all your players, and so now that's just reaffirmed to me. And I see him out there. I'm just like, how? Like it's got to be the coach not piecing things together correctly.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying, honestly, man. I'm at a loss for words at this point.
I'm sure you are, man. I'm sure you are. I want to know from you, how did you feel? I'm sure you already went over this, but that Booker foul.
Frustrating, because I felt like Dame wouldn't have gotten that same call in the same situation. You know what I mean? Because I felt like there was a number of plays where Dame drove and there was contact and he wasn't getting it, which is cool. It's just like be consistent with that. And I felt like that was a little bit of a normally they don't call that ticky-tack stuff. So it was frustrating.
Not at the end of the game.
Not at the end of the game.
Okay, yep. How about this? Maybe if it's 115, 117. Okay. Yeah, they might call some ticky-tack stuff so that we can tie the game. But to give us a chance to win the game on free throws, when the release that Booker did, no one was touching him. No one was anywhere near him. Like, he got a little bit of contact from an arm reaching in to steal the ball away.
Yeah.
But, I mean, dude, that's nuts, dude. I would be furious if I were you guys.
I lost my voice a bit. My voice has kind of come back. Does my voice sound better now? Because my voice at the start of the stream was rough. It's been a little wavery. I mean, it was rough at the start of the stream. I think it's better now. It feels stronger. But, dude, it's so frustrating to lose a game off that. Like, it's a hard-fought game. It's a really good game, and we lose off of that. That is just a frustrating way to lose. It's not fun, you know? I would have rather Devin Booker made a shot, you know?
Absolutely.
It was frustrating
it
was frustrating to be in that position, too. But it's just like, I felt like during the fourth quarter, there's a number of plays where Nurkic got called for fouls where I thought it was like ticky-tack, like some of the calls they weren't giving Dame, they were calling on Nurkic down the stretch there. So that I was already frustrated with the refs, and then they call that. Like, very frustrating to lose to lose a game like this in that way is frustrating.
Super important game.
Yeah.
I mean, I said this earlier. Like any other quarter, I can see that foul call.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, in the earlier quarters, I don't think they call that either. It really wasn't a foul, Torrey. Like I'm sorry.
I don't
feel like that was a foul.
I see what he saw. It's just I don't know.
Booker just really sold it by going to the ground.
You got to know that. To call, especially with the game on the line, especially with the game on the line, you have to know that he got fouled to make that call, in my opinion. You have to know that it's a foul. And I don't see how you knew that was a foul based on how, like, ticky-tack that was.
Yeah, it has to be a higher degree of a foul. It has to be, like, obvious to God and everybody. Like, everyone watching at home needs to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just call it because he does, like, essentially like that swipe through that CP3 does. I mean, he got less contact on his arm than CP3 when he does that swipe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's frustrating to lose like that, but it shouldn't have been, like, on the other hand, we shouldn't have been in that position, man. I mean, Chris Paul got going, and he played really well, but we just gave him so much space in the mid-range because we just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. Like, you guys are out there trapping Dame, and Dame's going off despite that, even though I think you guys defended him very well in this game, and he's still going off. He's hitting insane shots. A double clutch contested shot against Chris Paul with contact there is, like, the perfect example. He's just hitting contested shots. He's just hitting contested shots, but I thought you defended him well, and you're trapping Dame. And it's like, I don't know what, like, Stotts, I don't understand how he can, like, see how teams are trapping Dame and how hard it is at times for us to have success against that, and like how tough Dame's shots are, and then not think to try the same thing on Chris Paul. Instead, we give him a bunch of room in the mid range, and he's able to work with that and get going off that. And
that
speed
dude
guys
loves
off that.
drop scheme.
It's so frustrating. So that's always been one of my biggest critiques, and that played out in this game. And then against the trap, it was like, Dame, please make something happen, and he did. But it's like we weren't exploiting it with the pass. We weren't exploiting it by having guys in the proper positions. Like you guys against the trap, like if you guys get trapped all game, you guys would have looked much better by the end of the game than I thought we did. So that was the other part. That's like my biggest two complaints is just constant drop scheme and then not knowing how to deal with the trap.
Can you guys, Eric, maybe just what did you guys think of that very last play where they huck it into CJ, it hits his leg, and he doesn't have enough time to shoot it? Like, why was Dame not further up the court? And would you have rather Dame take that shot from further back than CJ, or is it pretty much a wash?
I mean, with that time and situation, I think just getting a shot off is important. It doesn't really matter, but we are so undisciplined. We're so like chaotic in those situations. And that's another sign of a poorly coached team, in my opinion, is there's no plan. It's just like, what do I do? Oh, there's CJ. Let's try to get over him. CJ, make something happen. You know, like there's not like a back pick for someone so they can streak up the court and you can lob it up to them, or the famous Valparaiso play where you throw it to a big man standing there and at like the 3-point line, and he kicks out to a streaking shooter to get a last second shot or something like that. Like every high school team knows how to run.
Has a play.
Yeah. So in my opinion, it's in every time we've been in those situations where we're out of a timeout, it's basically just throw the ball up down the court and hope someone catches the ball and gets a shot off, and there's no play or anything. So the fact that CJ,
Dame, man.
I mean, maybe if CJ doesn't fumble it, maybe if he doesn't fumble it, but Dame, in that situation, I probably would have rather just given it to Dame and had him take a 3/4 court shot or whatever. But I mean, CJ almost got a good shot off. If he didn't fumble the ball initially, like it might have worked out for a decent look. And he is capable of getting a shot off in those situations if he catches the ball. But I've never liked how unstructured we are in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, if CJ catches that, I think it's a pretty good shot. Like, I think if CJ catches that pass cleanly, I think you're getting a better shot, like, than you could expect. You know what I mean? Like, you get the ball to Dame, and he's shooting from 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet.
I just would have preferred Dame be in the position further up the court. Like,
100%.
What was he doing?
But
trying to inbound it like normal.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even run, like, a play there. That's what was frustrating. And they had it was a timeout before that because it was the challenge. So they could have drawn something up, and it's like they didn't even draw anything up, or they didn't execute it properly or something. It was strange.
Did that challenge make it so that they couldn't call a timeout and advance the ball?
Yes.
That was their last timeout. So if they
Fire Scott.
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for challenging that because it was such a ticky-tack call, like, and it decides the game there. Like, it's a jump ball with 0.9 seconds left if they don't get it. You know what I mean? And it's Devin Booker, a really good free throw shooter, going to the line. So I get it. I get the challenge. I don't necessarily disagree with it. It just sucks that it lost our last timeout.
That's true. You absolutely have to.
Yeah,
how did they review that and still say it was a foul? They had every opportunity
home crowd,
to
man.
Get out of it.
The refs aren't used to having fans in the stands anymore, so they didn't want to get booed. They don't know how to handle that anymore. So it's my theory.
Jeez,
Hey, Gabe, someone joked when you went away that Torrey snapped his fingers and made you disappear. And then my guy Gordon said that, how would you feel if you went away for 5 years and came back and found out the Suns won a championship without you?
Ooh, like a blip, like Endgame.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I mean, I would probably just watch it on replay over and over and over. You know?
Yeah.
So like us reliving the Dame 37-footer.
I don't want to go too far. I won't talk. Just give me like 10 seconds to ask Erica Avengers question.
Oh,
so Eric, what happens during the blip if you're taking a shit on a toilet, sorry, I forgot this is a family show. This is a family show, people. You're
It's
going
your
to the
show
bathroom
now.
on the toilet, and then the blip happens, and everybody comes back, and the person who was sitting there on the toilet is now on top of you. It's just the things that go through.
What?
Well, I don't know. In the blip, didn't they come out? They all came out together or something. I don't know. They didn't really explain the people who were
because those kids that were on the court during band practice, there's a game going, and then everyone who's in band just appears, and they're like running into each other. Stuff. What happens if you're on a toilet that was being occupied when Thanos snapped him into dust?
I guess you're just, for lack of a better term, S out of luck.
I'm sorry, Tori.
You're S out of luck, man.
Sorry, Tori.
Well, the stream is no longer rated G. Well, it wasn't rated G before, so if there's ever a stream to talk about,
do they demonetize you guys for cursing? I'm so sorry.
I don't know, and I don't.
Tori
care.
left my hot mic on when I cussed someone out for saying that Lillard didn't have his watch working tonight or something. Like, what are you talking about?
Somebody was talking trash about Dave, and Eric was like, "What the F are you
Dude
talking
scores
about?"
like 20 points in the fourth quarter single-handedly, almost leads us to a victory, and they're like, "Oh, Lillard sucks."
Like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know if, I don't think I clicked it. I don't think I clicked unmute. You know, we always start off muted. I can't take your audio feed off the intro screen. I can take mine, but for some reason I can't take yours. Maybe I need to figure out how to do that.
You could have him mute himself, right?
Yeah, I mean, but normally I have it covered. Instead, I just leave a hot mic on for the worst game. If it's any other game, it's completely fine.
And he was cussing.
You know what I mean? But this is the worst game. I felt so bad.
What episode is that? Because I will watch that.
What episode is what?
Where you were on a hot mic.
This one. In the
This
intro,
one? Okay,
because
cool.
we
I just
have
gotta
our
go back
logo until we're ready to actually go live. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut that out after the stream because I can remove a bit of the intro, and normally I just leave it. But I'll save them. But everybody that didn't hear is probably now rewinding it. But honestly, I don't I was thinking the same exact thing, man. I was ready to cuss out somebody talking trash about Dave as if it was Dame's fault when he was carrying the team, man. So I think everybody that heard that hot mic was like, yes, we need more of that on this show. There's a lot of people that wish this show was rated PG-13 or worse, but we like to keep it family friendly. But
no problem. I understand.
You see how many people love that conversation you brought up, man? I mean,
hey.
This is the good thing about not being a racist piece of crap is when you said hot mic, I was only worried about what cuss word I said.
Not
at least I never have to worry about being oh crap, did I say something that's gonna get me canceled or whatever, because I don't say that stuff or I don't think that way, so I would never get caught making fun of someone on a hot mic that I shouldn't be making fun of. So
that's a good point.
I felt like that guy deserved to be called out, so I'm fine that it was a hot mic that time. So
I agree with that. Knowing Eric would never say anything that could get him canceled. He wouldn't. Yeah, he's not Myers Leonard. He's not. Not what. He's a good guy. Basically.
I might be talking crap about one of the Portland media guys, but
we do that on stream anyway. We do that on stream anyway.
Can I answer one of the questions I saw?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So Shane Hafner says, ask Gabe what new head coach would be a good fit in Portland. Okay, so I've got two people in mind that just popped to the top of my head. So Mark Jackson pops to the top of my head.
Oh, no, Gabe.
That's old.
No, Gabe.
Okay, that's
no.
fine. I mean, I just respect what he did with the Warriors, and I've always had he left a good lasting impression in most NBA fans' minds. Don't you think? Most people look at him and they're like, "Hey, he fixed the Warriors."
He's like Terry Stotts 2.0.
Is he? I don't know.
He's just they were so stagnant before they brought Kerr in.
Yeah, this is the problem. Kerr came in and played Curry off ball, and his percentages of off ball movement and plays outside of the pick and roll and ISO improved dramatically, and then Curry becomes a 2-time MVP immediately. Now you could maybe argue that those guys, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, would have gotten Curry that team there eventually, even with Mark Jackson as the coach. But just the amount of ISO and lack of off-ball movement they had with those guys prior to that leads me to want to go in a completely different direction from someone that
Just
had that same problem Stotts has in the past.
remember, you're talking to a Suns fan. This is why I'm so ignorant about coaches, because we had Igor Kokoskov, and we were promised that he was a GOAT, and Earl Watson. Like my floor is Earl Watson, and I feel like what's his face is way above Earl Watson, So I don't know coaches that well, to be honest. But the other coach I was thinking of, and I don't think you guys are gonna like this if you didn't like the last one. I never understood why you guys had to get rid of Nate McMillan, and that's because I'm from the outside looking in.
That's not as bad as what I thought you were. I was ready for Jason Kidd, so
no,
I was a little bit let
way.
down.
No.
I was gonna throw my chair if you said Jason Kidd.
Yeah, so Nate, it was one of those situations where he had been the coach a long time. He had some really bad guys on the team that weren't really conducive to a coach who was kind of a hard ass. Raymond Felton.
Oh my gosh.
And there was kind of a mutiny against him, and it was kind of
I didn't know.
You know, in the NBA, it's hard to change the players and not the coaches. So he was gotten rid of. But at the end of the day, it was like, I don't want to say he's like completely like incapable of adjusting and stuff like that, but he was very stubborn as well, at least here, with not adapting to the 3-point shot, running his defense a certain way all the time, kind of similar also to some of the problems we're having now. But then you look at him this year with the Hawks, and he's starting to do a little bit different things, and they're shooting a lot of threes, so maybe it was just a case of he got kind of the shaft in Indiana based on injuries and stuff there. But it wouldn't be the worst thing. I would take McMillan over Stotts, but I kind of just want like a whole new fresh,
I can understand that.
More of a creative up and comer type that'll like die coming up with new things or plays or things. Someone who's just gonna put in the time in the film room.
I got a good idea for you, and I don't know if he's going to be a coach, but how about? Well, I don't want you to be stuck with Stotts for this long, but in the future, how about CP3? Would you give CP3 a chance to be your coach right off the bat, right after being a player?
Honestly, like I don't like him like personally. I don't know.
Play his mind.
But for his basketball mind, yes. Like dude's one of the smartest players in the game, 100%. I mean, yeah.
I'm a big fan of point guards that aren't named Jason Kidd getting a chance right away, because I think that it's like taking a quarterback, and like how great of an offensive coordinator do you think Peyton Manning would be? It's like, how has that not happened yet? Why haven't they broken the bank for him?
Well, because he turned down like $20 million to do Monday Night Football or whatever. Like guys like that don't necessarily need money. So there's sometimes some of those players they see it as just like an extension of their career. They're not like going to put in the work they need to do to become a good coach. They're just like, oh, well, I play basketball, I should know how to coach, and just kind of do it that way. So it's kind of hard to tell how someone will be without putting them in that situation. But they showed a graphic on TNT tonight, another good graphic that showed every team CP3 has gone to has improved dramatically win percentage-wise from the previous year. And it's been a case where the last few years, like, you look at the Thunder last year, you look at Houston the 2 years he was there, you look at obviously the Suns this year. It's a case where this guy is absolutely doing something to improve the rosters he goes to, and you could see tonight he was. I almost made the joke at one point that he was coaching the team at one point.
Dude,
like
he coaches so much.
He's standing up like yelling more than Monty is at the time. So I was watching the bench, and And so, yeah, I definitely think he's got the acumen for it. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to play, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
I always
much,
say, like,
much further down the road.
I always think of like he's got like 2 more. Don't you guys think he's got like 2 more good years? I mean, if he wants to play 3 more, I could see it, but
it's kind of hard to say because I feel like players are like player longevity is like slowly going up, especially as the game becomes more like skill based, 3-point shot based, that type of thing. You know, it's not quite as physical or athleticism based necessarily. You got more space to work in, that type of thing. So I feel like he could have 3-4 more good years left. I don't know. Like he is the type of player who's just so smart and so skilled and just knows how to play that he could be good at the age of 40. You know what I mean? And he's going to lose some speed, but like that's not going to crush him. You know, Russell Westbrook when he's 40 is going to be absolutely horrible on the NBA level. You know, when he's like 36, when he's Chris Paul's age, he's not going to be as good as Chris Paul is now because his game is so like he can pass. But like he can't shoot. Agree. His game is so athleticism based. He's gonna fall off harder. So that's kind of how I feel about that. Last year when everybody was saying Billy Donovan deserved Coach of the Year, I was saying Chris Paul deserved Coach of the Year over Billy Donovan because Billy Donovan sucks. Billy Donovan absolutely sucks, and they overachieved because of Chris Paul.
That's true.
Let me.
Yeah. Let me get some donos on
let me thank the donos that are on tap. Mills Wosh, $10 dono. Appreciate it. Mills Wosh says, I saw a tweet today saying, the Blazers running that dumb play where they set a double screen 30 feet from the basket from Dame. That never works. Yeah. People call it out our plays, man. I mean, everything is out there. Everything is far away from the rim. You know, that's just kind of how it goes with this team. So, yeah. That's funny. Appreciate the dono. Shout Near012, $5 dono says our best passer, Nurk, didn't even take it out, right? Dame's our best passer, but Nurkic should have probably been inbounding on that final play. I don't know. He wasn't even in the game, right, Eric?
No, they pulled him for Melo.
Well, that was the defensive possession. On the offensive possession where Rocco got fouled, we should have had Nurkic passing the ball, and we should have had Melo as an option to shoot the free throws.
Okay. They did put Melo in the game. Melo inbounded the ball.
Yeah.
They took Nurk out, but then they put him in when Rocco shot the free throws, and then Phoenix called a timeout, and they took Nurk out and put Melo back in for some unknown absurd
I was really
reason.
surprised. I was live doing play-by-play for our channel, and I was like, I don't know why they're doing this because there's time enough left that, if anything, you want to be able to get a second opportunity, get a rebound, like and he can shoot. I mean, he can do everything. I know Melo's a really good shooter, but like, what are you going to give it to him and let him pound 5 dribbles and then during an ISO? Like, it doesn't really seem like Melo time.
But in that situation, there was like 6 seconds left. You were fouling immediately, so whoever caught the ball was going to get fouled. So yeah, there's I don't know. It made no sense. I don't know.
Yep. It's the perks of having a great coach like Stotts, man. You get you get to ask these questions all night.
Dude, we have you realize how bad like Dame and CJ in particular's defense is thought of around the league, right, or around by fans.
Yeah.
And that everyone knows that Melo doesn't have the greatest defensive reputation, right? Our coach put those 3 in the game with 5 seconds left, needing a stop up 1. He put those 3 in the ball game. Like, that's how stupid our coach is sometimes. Like, it makes no sense at all. Yeah, okay, Melo had to stop before that when he forced Booker into a double dribble, but that was just him standing there. It's not like he was like isolated in a pick and roll situation and was able to contest a shot or something. Like, it's completely different in the half court set versus him just standing there forcing Booker into a bad dribble or whatever.
Man,
and then people wonder why our defense is ass.
I even think about it. I mean, you're right. You do have two major forces. Your best 2 players are kind of like Booker, fantastic on offense. One's much better, not much, but still, one's clearly better than Booker. One's nearly on Booker's level, but you're right. Both of them they're not known for defense. And then you've got Melo out there. That's just like, what are you doing, Stotts? It's very upsetting for me because I'm a Bears fan and I want my coach gone. I want Matt Nagy dead yesterday. Okay, so like, I get it. And there isn't anything more frustrating than having to argue my point against Bears fans who are like, well, Matt Nagy took us to the playoffs with Trubisky 2-3 years. And Matt, it's like, if you aren't smart enough to see what's actually going on, I can't help you, you know? And that's exactly what it is going on with Stotts, because I see in y'all's chat, I see on Twitter, there are people that literally think Stotts is the truth. And I mean, how do you not gaslight yourself into doing something?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's frustrating. Last donut we had, let me just get this out of the way. Lopakel, $3 donut says, for non-PG-13 content, check out Tori's Twitter. Yeah.
Weren't you going off?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. But, like, so we signed Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, right? For the rest of the season. This guy is someone who analytically was a great defender the last season he played in Toronto, and he's been known as a good perimeter defender. We signed Derrick Jones Jr., who, by all analytics, was a really good perimeter defender last year. We're playing a team where we know they're going to take a perimeter shot. You don't even have a big guy. You weren't going like posting anyone up, or so we're like our skinniness of anyone isn't going to factor into that last play, right? So, like, you have this defensive personnel. You could have had Derrick Jones, Rocco, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, and then, like, one of Dame or CJ maybe, and then, like, I don't know, someone else off the bench, like you could have played Nurk in that situation, whatever, and just, like, switched all picks or done something different. It makes no sense. Oh, no, we could have played Norm as the fifth guy there instead of Nurk. And then, yeah, just switch all picks. If Booker gets it, you know he's shooting, so double team him immediately if he comes off a pick. Hard trap that. We're out of a timeout, so there was no excuses to not be ready for that. And then we get all set up on the court, and he still subs in Melo for Nurkic anyway, and it makes no sense. Yeah. And then people wonder, like, why we lose games, or why we get upset when our personnel sucks. It's like we don't even use our personnel right.
Yeah.
Bro, can you guys explain to me what was going on with Powell when he fell to the ground after he smoked that layup? It's like he was laying there like he was dead, but I didn't see him take any shots.
I don't know, man. It was a hustle play, so maybe he was catching his breath. I don't think he took a shot. I think he was also frustrated with himself because he lost the ball going up on that one.
I was so confused. I thought he got hurt. And
Yeah,
then
I
they
did
showed
too.
the replay. And Chris Paul didn't even really get a chance to foul him. He was going to foul him, but the ball slipped out of both hands on the...
Oh, you muted yourself, Gabe.
I got some dogs barking, my bad.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, how many dogs do you have?
Well, there's no law in Texas against how many dogs you have, so I've got 8.
8? Okay, so they weren't exaggerating. I thought they were exaggerating. Man, they're struggling for attention because you got too many of them.
I got my buddy. My buddy just flew in from Nebraska, and he's coming in the house right now. My bad.
It's all good.
No, it's all good.
It's all good.
I just got a dog myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
What kind?
You sound like you're not
boxer.
too thrilled about that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. It was
What
for,
breed?
The kids.
It's a boxer. She's like 3.5 years old or so. But yeah, someone who was moving and couldn't bring her with him, and yeah, my kids have wanted a dog for a long time, and yeah.
I have never had a dog. Never had a dog. My mom was allergic, so I never had.
That'll do it.
And then I don't know. I'm more of a cat person for that reason. They're just I don't know. It takes a lot of effort to have a dog. It takes a lot more effort to have a dog than a cat. You know, you gotta walk them every day. You gotta let them out. Cats you can just leave on their own and they'll be completely fine.
You can go on vacation, leave a bunch of food out, and you're good.
Yeah, and then they'll like be a little mad at you when you get back and completely forget about it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So real quick before I get killed in chat for being like a dog hater, I love dogs. I just like I have 3 kids and I have a business and stuff like that. I feel bad having to also worry about, going home and letting the dog out to go to the bathroom and stuff, or like how long I have to stay somewhere depends on how long I've left an animal at home and stuff like that. So it was just a matter of, not really wanting that responsibility right now of having a dog, but it's only been 5 days, but it's been pretty good, and she's really well trained and stuff like that. So
that
hasn't
helps.
been too bad yet. But my oldest daughter is going away to college here, and they've been really close since these last 5 days, and she's been stepping up to like take most of the responsibility on. So I'm kind of worried about when she goes to college, what's going to happen here with me having to assume most of the responsibility for it.
Yeah, the dogs, man, they just have a way. Is it a girl dog or a boy dog?
It's a girl. Yeah.
She's gonna love you, man, because like it's weird, man. Usually girl dogs love males, human males, and then she'll win you over, dude. She'll do something.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
she's been great. It's nothing against her. Like I won't like.
I mean, she'll win you over to the point where you're gonna be like, I'm gonna kill myself if this dog dies. Like she'll get you like that at some point.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Well, that's the other thing that's. I haven't dealt with death much in my life, but when I was little and my dog passed away or we had to put her down, that was like one of the worst days of my life. So just remembering that and that traumatic experience, I'm hoping that's a long way.
No, dude, it's way worse as an adult. I hate to break it to
is
you.
it?
Yeah. Why am I not surprised that this stream specifically is coming down to a talk about death?
Right?
Oh my.
The Blazers signed their death warrants on the 2020-21 season.
The Blazers are going to get put down like a dog if they don't win these next 2 games.
Well, they only got 1 game left.
They got 1 game left, right? And you got to win it, right? It is a must win.
If the Lakers win out and we lose, we're in the play-in. In order to get the 5 seed, we have to win, and the Mavericks have to lose one of their last 2. So, yeah. And it's against Denver.
You just got to win and you take care of your own business, man. I mean, you'll be fine. I'm shocked we beat you guys tonight. It doesn't make any sense. But it was a back-to-back. I think that's truly the only reason you lost. The only reason is because it was a back-to-back. Dame was so efficient tonight, dude.
Yeah.
41 on 23 shots? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, wasn't he like... what was he like in the 4th quarter, though? Like... I thought he was like...
he was insane in the 4th until he missed that 3 late, but other than that, yeah, he was unreal. And setting people up for 3s as well, yeah.
Let me just say to the person named Trent in chat, that is as low as it gets. It's just pathetic. Anybody that says anything like that, just automatically hide it. Mods, of course. Oh, he said, Tori, did your dad die, or was he just a deadbeat dad? So screw off to you, man.
Jesus.
Screw off. Just pathetic, man. You're punk.
Even if that was like a legit question, why would you ask someone that?
I don't know. And somebody else said something about my dad. Like, why? You got these punks talking trash about family. I mean, it's probably the people on Twitter that say all the messed up stuff behind a burner because they're too scared to show their face with the things they say and they don't want to own up to it. It's as weak as it gets. So shouldn't be surprised, honestly. And like, I don't know. I'm used to people coming in chat and saying messed up stuff, but that's like near the top of the charts, if not at the top of the charts, man. That's just sad. I'm assuming hopefully it's a 14-year-old kid that doesn't know any better and still has a chance to grow up and not be a trash human being. You know, everybody, as a famous Blazers Twitter account would say, people should try and be better humans.
Humans.
Be better humans.
Hopefully it was Myers Leonard's son, you know.
Myers Leonard. He doesn't have a son.
Junior.
Surprisingly. Yeah. So anyway, that's just automatic hide, by the way. I was wondering if Jackson was in here. Trevin's in here now. Reese was kind of on his own. And that's the thing. Our streams have been popping, so might need to add a mod for playoffs.
Yeah,
might need to do it.
We might need to get one mod for playoffs.
Hey, just make it somebody that watches your streams a lot and that you can trust.
You can trust. Why? It's because do people? What's the point of taking advantage of it and like block and be like, why is that advantageous? I mean, we'll just get
it's not. It's just more peace of mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Isaac wants to be a mod really, really bad, but he comes in here and he just trolls to the point where he's trying to get himself banned, and then he wants to be a mod, and I'm like, bro. Like, I know Isaac personally, right? So that's the thing. There's so many people that want to be mods. I get so many people that come in chat. Make me a mod. Make me a mod. Watch, since we're talking about, there's probably going to be a couple of those comments in chat. Make me a mod. But Isaac, like, I know personally. So, like, I know, like, we have a gaming Discord and stuff. So somebody was, like, talking trash about Isaac. He's like, don't talk trash about Isaac. Because we, like, talked to him personally, like I game with him, you know what I mean? I game with him a little bit, so that was funny when that happened. BJL999 was the person who was talking trash about Isaac, and now he's saying make me a mod. So yeah, no, not gonna happen. KG, not gonna happen. I already know who the next mod we're gonna add is, but just make it somebody that you know you can trust. It's just easy.
Trust with power, right? You give them that power, it goes to their head.
It's pretty powerful. But yeah, and then everybody's just make me a mod, make me a mod, make me a mod. As if like anybody that comes into chat, I just mod people who ask. Nah, come on. But yeah, poor Isaac. I'm airing out Isaac again.
I was gonna say Iverson in here saying he was literally I think Iverson Vlogs was the first person to ever leave a comment, so maybe he should be the mod.
Yep. And see, you want mods that do a good job. See, you got this troll coming in, and Trevin's already hitting them. Look at that. That's efficiency right there from Trevin. Good job, Trevin. Appreciate it.
me and Trevin are still supposed to play some 2K. I'm not sure when that's going to happen.
Bro, if he talks on the mic, I'm going to lose my mind.
Does he not talk to people usually?
No, we game with him all the time, and he never, ever hops on his mic. Everybody else on their mic, he doesn't hop on his mic. He does not hop on his mic. And he's one of our mods, and he won't tell us why. So if he plays 2K with you, and he's on mic, I'm going to lose my mind. And so will a number of people in here.
I doubt he will. Yeah. Oh, Reese is saying that was him. I thought Trevin was saying he was going to play too. What have you guys been playing?
Trevin says that was probably my most efficient band. That was very efficient, Trevin. We've been playing we were on an Among Us wave for a while.
I remember that.
That's basically the main play. We'll play some Scribble-Yo. You ever play Scribble-Yo? It's like online Pictionary. And honestly, we're just chilling. I can give you the link to the Discord, man.
Yeah, I need to get in y'all's Discord. You guys got in ours. I'm sure your guys' is insane.
It's fun.
Tori's been more active in yours than the Blazers Uprise.
That's funny.
I'm not active in the Blazers Uprise.
Because he can blend in and not be quite such a high-profile celebrity. You know, like in y'all's, it's like
Eric is the celebrity, not me. Eric is the celebrity. All right.
I try to interact with people on there all the time.
Yeah, and then they're all starstruck because you're so famous and you're so you're Eric freaking Brandt.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Solar Money says Trevin is secretly a girl, that's why. Nah, he's
No, I know what Trevin looks like.
Yeah. We should Reese found the Facebook profile. Reese did the dig. Reese is the next Woj. That's all I'm gonna say. Reese is the next Woj. He's
actually, that was all me.
Was that all you? No, yep. I don't know. But yeah, we're just airing it out for Trevin. Geez, you went 7-3, Eric. Yeah, we're screwed in picks. Congratulations on your picks against the spread championship, Eric.
It's not quite wrapped up yet, but this
5
was
games
a
on
very
chat
good day for me. Let's just say that. Did I just get muted?
No,
I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm just not gonna say anything. I won it last year, so I won it last year.
Okay. Yeah, so I am friends with Trevin on Facebook, and let's just say it recommended that I be friends with his mom the other day, and that's how that all came to be.
What, Eric?
Did you add his mom?
I did not add. I didn't do anything.
Oh boy!
I just happened to look through her pictures and see a bunch of Trevin on there. So
That's sus, Eric. That's oh my goodness.
That's not sus. It
sus.
literally showed I signed in. Like the only reason why I even go
Stalker.
on Facebook is because of the Facebook business page.
Yeah.
But like, so I go on and it immediately pops up. This person is recommended, and I was like, oh, that has the same last name as Trevin. Let me, because Trevin. If honestly, if Trevin wasn't like so secretive about his voice and all that kind of stuff, like
Bro.
I probably wouldn't even have clicked on it. But like,
Why is
this
he
is like,
secretive about his voice?
wow, I have an opportunity. But like some of the pictures, he was like, "Mom, delete these," like it was so funny.
Wow.
Man, why are we doing this to Trevin? I feel genuinely bad. Poor Trevin. Trevin's a legend. Trevin's one of the OGs, like day one OGs. Trevin's like Iverson vlogs for you guys, or
For sure.
burner account, honestly.
Yeah.
BJL, quit spamming. If you spam one more time, I'm gonna put you in timeout. Do not spam chat.
What's wrong? Okay,
Or
explain to
after you
me.
watch the-
Explain to me what's wrong with spamming chat. Obviously, it's not ideal.
Because it's what's not wrong with spamming chat. What do you mean? It buries all the good comments.
Okay,
it takes up a
We
ton
don't
of
have
space in chat
spam.
for no
We don't
reason.
really- We've never really dealt with that. I haven't gotten annoyed by it yet.
Yeah, it's just like, what's the point? Like, I don't know. It's just attention sinking. Like, I don't know. You just post the same thing over and over and over again. It kind of ruins chat a little bit. It doesn't ruin chat, but it like messes up chat. And we got a good
hard
chat.
enough to keep up sometimes without people spamming.
So spam, personal insults. We do 5-minute timeouts, and if people like consistently break it, or if they say something like super messed up, then we just permaban them. That's kind of the way we do things.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and our mods are pretty consistently enforce it. So yeah. Anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about the game, or do you guys want to talk about movies some more? Because if that's the case, I'll just dip and go get some Wendy's, and you guys can keep talking about it. Honestly, I haven't eaten today.
Well, they want Stott's interview.
No.
Are you gonna give them Stott's?
No, we're already 2 hours in, and I haven't eaten today,
I
and
don't blame you.
I was going to go get Wendy's, but they close in 13 minutes in a 6-minute drive, so yeah, we got like 5 minutes left.
Before we go, I just want to say anybody who's here from Valley Pod, please subscribe to the Blazers Uprise. They will not notice it because they have so many subscribers, but do it anyway, please. We owe them.
And vice versa, for the Valley Pod, go subscribe to them if you haven't already. Even if you never watch the show, it helps Gabe's numbers and helps him get noticed more. And you can say you were one of their first, like, you're up to 300 now, right? So
Dude, we hit 300
you were one of
today.
your first 310 subs or whatever,
Right.
and you were there from the beginning when Gabe blows up one day.
Before we had you guys on our podcast just a few days ago, we were sitting at like 256, and today we hit 300, dude. So that's like almost 50 in 3 days. For us, that's huge.
Yeah, well, like, here's the thing is, like, I like getting...
I don't want to brag, but...
Oh my! Half of their community is like Blazer fans at this point. Is
Seriously,
like our
like, no
community.
joke.
But like our community's
Well, it
fun,
helps
and you
you,
guys
though.
are entertaining. That's the thing. Is like if I want content on a team, I'd rather listen to like fans of the team than First Take or whatever crappy ESPN or FS1 show. You know what I mean? So like I like going to spots like that for just insight on a team. But then also you guys are just entertaining. You guys are
Thanks.
genuinely entertaining. So yeah, so I enjoy their stuff. I enjoy their work.
That show is up to 918 views.
I know, dude. I know. Like seriously, if you guys don't mind, like that's what I really want. Help us get that video to 1,000. Just go watch it for 1 second and turn that off. Like I don't care. If
You want
we
to see
hit-
that K number
if
after?
we hit- Oh my gosh. We did this one video, like me and Salty, when we started it, we had like 5 followers. I did this video called Will DeAndre Ayton Ever Dunk Again? And it was just like 3 minutes, and we put it out. And then, yeah, I came back with like, you look back a couple months later, there was like 900 views, like 700 some views. Like, holy crap. I mean, we've never hit 1K on any video. So
You
it
guys
will be
hit
the
1K
one
in
with you
time,
guys.
for sure.
What's that?
You guys will hit 1K naturally in time. You know, maybe the community will assist you, but you guys will hit 1K because you guys are growing. Next season, you guys could get to the point where you're consistently getting 1K. Definitely.
Like,
Definitely.
Sub-wise, me and Coach were on the phone the other day, and I was like, dude, this is before you guys helped us again the other day. I'm like, Coach, we're at 256, bro. I think we might hit 300 during the playoffs at some point. You know, like my goal is after the playoffs, let's be over 300. He's like, hell yes. He's all hyped up. And it happened before the playoffs. So that is absolutely thanks to you guys.
Yeah,
I know Salty appreciates it too, and Coach.
You realize every member of the Blazers Uprise community that subscribes to you realize that costs $1, right, for every sub?
I did. I've got a check. It's written out. I'm just wait until I get my paycheck so I can have the funds for you.
Wait till you're
Solvik
monetized.
says that your DeAndre Ayton video is at 1.6K.
What do you mean, bro? You're lying. You're trying to get to it. You're already there.
I didn't know. It's only like a 3-minute
man.
video. This would be like a podcast.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's nuts. 1.6. That is crazy.
Yep. Kuv Hoop says, "How TF am I ahead of the Valley podcast? My content sucks. They are goated."
I don't know, man. I gotta check out Kuv. I didn't even know he had a channel. I just have seen him in here before.
Yep. So
is he y'all's?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah,
I think so.
He's been in
here for a while.
Check out Kuv. Y'all.
Watch him be like he's been here for like a year and a half, and I forgot. Right. I feel so bad.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, anything you guys want to get off your chest before we wrap up here?
It wasn't a foul on Booker.
You heard it from the Suns fan himself. Eric, what about you?
I know your feelings on this, Tori, kind of, but now that it's a reality, I saw. Sorry, I can't find it again, but so now that it's possible that if we lose Sunday, we're in the play-in. If we win, we play the Clippers. Let's just say that's the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the Nuggets, we play the Clippers round 1, avoid the play-in. Lose, we play the Warriors in the play-in, and if we win that, we play the Suns.
Give me the Clippers.
Are you considering losing at all?
No, give me the Clippers. Because here's the thing:
really?
if we don't change our style of play, they will crush us, and that'll guarantee that our style of play will improve in the future. So I will take that sweep. Yeah. I will take that sweep, and I will take Stoss just getting absolutely exposed in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's good.
Or
because I don't think we're beating you anyway.
Everyone's happy.
Well, if we beat the Clippers, then that would take such drastic improvements in style of play. Then at that point, I think we have a chance of making it all the way. You know, yeah. So either way, it's a good outcome. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna wrap this. What's
I was gonna say, do you guys play blackjack?
Not with real money anymore.
Well, you know how to play though. I mean, it just reminds me of like splitting tens.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, which would you rather do? You want to play this 110 you have, or you want to split them and try the long route to get something better down the road? Like, that's tough, dude. I would think you would rather want to just play the Suns than the Clippers, because the Clippers are nasty.
But we don't get rest. I mean, so
you saw us have an insane performance from Damian Lillard, and we still can't even beat you guys because we're so dumb. Like, yeah.
Effing Coach Stotts, man.
Anyway. I got 7 minutes to go get my Wendy's. Shout out Martin Young with a last-minute dono, $5 Australian. Says $5 for the sweep. Appreciate it, Martin. We're going to wrap this up here. Make sure to go subscribe to Valley Podcast. That's where you can find Gabe. Your Twitter handle is at Gabe Von Carter. Eric's is at Hoopsjock. I'm at Tori Jones YT if you want to follow us all on Twitter. We will have a stream on Sunday. So we got 2 days off, Friday, Saturday, and then we got a stream on Sunday after the final. We're going to do a Blazers Uprise Live Saturday night. A special Blazers Uprise Live. If you want to stay updated on when we're going live and when streams are, follow the channel's Twitter page at Blazers Uprise YT. There we go.
Yeah, late Saturday night we are going to do a final day of picks against the spread, since all 15 games and 30 teams play on Sunday. And so that'll just give everyone who is anywhere close to someone in the standings a chance on the last day to make it up. But I gained 2 games on chat tonight, so I'm looking pretty good.
Nice.
You gonna do a Wendy's stream? You get a stream?
Well, they close in 5 minutes and a 6-minute drive, so I think I have to make an audible and go get McDonald's, even though I do not like McDonald's.
You guys forced him into McDonald's by not letting him go.
Oh man.
I blame you. You forced me into McDonald's.
I apologize. We gave you an L that no one wanted tonight, and McDonald's.
I ate too much Wendy's anyway, man. I need to eat better, but I'm just kind of after a stream. I don't want to make anything.
Whataburger's right down the road. It's always calling after these streams, dude.
Nice. So I'm not getting Taco Bell. I don't want that heartburn. So I think the other option is some McDonald's right now. So I guess that's where I'm at. Yeah. So.
Stay tuned for the McDonald's stream, folks.
Yeah, that's not happening. But you gotta hop in our Discord if you want, Gabe.
Yeah, I'm gonna join right now.
And if any of you want to game with us, I might post a link later. I'm kind of hesitant to open it up to a bunch of people. It's kind of tight knit community. But if you guys are cool,
I'll keep it on the low.
Yeah. If you guys are cool, I might tweet it out on my Twitter page. So. Isaac is going to get another 5-minute timeout. And so anything you guys want to end off with, I want to make sure I give you guys a chance to say everything you want to say now that Wendy's is out the window.
All right, podcast extended.
Not quite, but go ahead.
No, not really. No, I just want to say thanks, man. You guys are awesome. It's so cool to see a group of fans that are so large that follow this stuff. It gives us hope that maybe we can get some Suns fans out of their closets and out of their basements and actually rooting again. Because it seems like since you guys have been so good for so long, that's why you have thousands of people that care.
And we don't have another major pro sports team. That definitely helps. We're like a basketball city.
Yeah. Nah, man. We just appreciate you guys, man. You guys rock.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming on, and you're
anytime.
We've enjoyed getting to know you and stuff. So thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yep, we enjoy the energy boost you bring us because my energy was wearing out, man. I expended so much energy in the first hour of this stream. Oh my goodness. The Blazers get a rough loss tonight to the Phoenix Suns, 118-117. Roughest loss of the season, but I've enjoyed the stream. Got it off our chest. I saw Eric say we make things better after losses. That is our goal. And these streams make things easier for us after tough losses. So, yeah, not the result the Blazers wanted. Now they got a tough task ahead to it's going to be hard to get into that favorable matchup with the Nuggets. It's looking like the Clippers or play-in territory at this point, unless they can have some luck with other games in the next few days. So on Twitter, I'll tweet about results and whatnot. If you want to look at playoff odds, which I've used on a number of these streams, playoffstats.com is the website I use for that. I saw some people asking about that. So other than that, I think I've plugged everything. Thank you to the mods, Trevin, Reese, and Zach. The chat has been crazier than ever lately, in a good way, but they definitely help things out. Shout out Trevin for his efficiency tonight. Trevin was very efficient tonight. So other than that, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, Gabe, for joining us. We will see you guys on Saturday night is the plan. Until then, hope you have a good Friday. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers. Your dog's saying bye too.